My name is Andrea Bunu. I'm a medical visualization and human anatomy master's student, and this is my video presentation for the 3D computerized facial reconstruction of the Neolithic Clachaig Skull. This research is a revision of technology conducted under the supervision of Dr. Ailey Ferguson, Daniel Bush, and Dr. Tobias Holton. I would like to also express my gratitude to the Hunterian Museum for access to the resources necessary for commencing this project. 3D computerized facial reconstruction is a digital technique which allows for the artificial reconstruction of soft tissue such as muscles, subcutaneous fat, and skin onto a skull in order to visualize a person's face. This process uses specialized modeling softwares such as Geomagic Freeform and ZBrush, as well as 3D modeling technologies such as haptic device, a workflow developed and validated by the Face Lab but widely used by many forensic artists and craniofacial identification experts. In forensic context, facial reconstruction is used as a means of identification when other key factors such as DNA are not available, and in archaeological context, it is used as a means of personifying an artifact and giving a face and identity to a skull, which may serve as a tool of connection to history and heritage, as well as education and appreciation of human remains in museum collections. The Clachaig Skull, an important artifact for the heritage and history of Scotland, takes its name after the cairn of Clachaig Falls, from which it was excavated in the 1900s by Dr. James Bryce. The skull dates back to the Neolithic period, around 4000 to 2500 BCE, which marks the transition of the Mesolithic hunter-gatherers to the Neolithic farmer settlements and farming practices. The skull was determined by anthropologists and expert osteological assessments to belong to a male around 45 to 55 years old at the time of death, and likely a farmer, thus marking the Clachaig Skull, or rather the Clachaig man, as one of Scotland's first farmers. In 1998, Professor Peter Venices alongside Maria Venices have produced a 3D computerized facial reconstruction of the Clachaig Skull through computer technologies available at the time. Based on photographs of the results achieved by Venices, the artist Marvin Elliott has produced a physical bust of the Clachaig man, which is currently on display in the Isle of Arran Heritage Museum. Contrary to public belief, there is no relationship between the physical bust and the 3D computerized reconstruction, as the bust is simply an artistic rendition, whereas the reconstruction marks the first attempt at depicting the face of this Neolithic man. Regardless, these events were met with great enthusiasm by the public, as the physical bust of the Clachaig man was dubbed the welcoming home of the Isle's first resident, a farmer. The aims of this research project were to produce the revised 3D facial reconstruction of the Clachaig Skull with the help of contemporary digital resources and technological advancements in order to predict the face of the Clachaig man once more in accordance to current validated methods used by field experts. The development process began by producing a digital copy of the skull through 3D reconstructed light scanning technologies. The Arctic 3D structured light scanner was used due to its ability to capture the precise geometry of its subject with an accuracy of 0.5 millimeters. Once scanned, multiple sets of scan data were aligned, registered, and fused into one 3D asset through the Arctic Studio software. The complete 3D asset of the skull was then imported into Geomagic Freeform, where the reconstruction process was performed. Geomagic Freeform is the industry's most comprehensive design software for 3D models for a range of medical solutions. Most notably, this software allows for the integration of specialized touch feedback hardware such as haptic devices, producing the ability to simulate the solid resistance of bone and the surface of craniofacial landmarks during the modeling process of the facial muscles and features onto the skull, as well as the precise attachment of facial soft tissue depth markers, which serve as anthropometric guides for the distance between the skull and the surface of the skin. This method of 3D computerized facial reconstruction using these specialized technologies was developed by Caroline Wilkinson alongside specialized research teams, and it has been validated and promoted, most notably by the Face Lab, a research group for craniofacial identification and digital facial depiction. In light of this project, the same methodology was conducted for the modeling process of the facial muscles up to the skin, as ensured under the training and supervision of the contributing external collaborator, Dr. Tobias Holton. Once the reconstruction process in the freeform software was finalized, using Maxon ZBrush, facial texture and color was added to the newly established face of the Clachaig man with the aim of achieving a photorealistic appearance. Pores, wrinkles, and smile lines were modeled with an array of brushes, and the coloristic choices given for the hair and eyes were influenced by an unfortunate lack of DNA information, but nevertheless, the aim to produce a neutral look. The finished outcome was presented in the Hunterian Anatomy Museum's monthly open day, where members of the public were able to interact with the reconstruction. Data was collected in the form of questionnaires, and feedback was gathered, which reported that the revised reconstruction seemed overall more accessible, realistically portrayed, and engaging. A direct quote regarding the humane appearance achieved in this project beautifully summarized the outcome of this study.